Hi guys, it's SkintBoot here, and today what I'm going to be bringing you guys is a Noclip exploration of the Riese. Now, making this video is really strange to me because I could have sworn that I actually made it in the past, but it actually occurred to me after thinking for ages that I have actually made this video that, hang on a second, I actually haven't. I used a bit of no-clipping of this map as background footage for a video about World of War on PC, which is to do with like the best games to own. But I've never actually made a video dedicated to exploring the map with commentary in the usual kind of way that the other series kind of follows. So this has been the first zombies map for World of War in a long ass time. It feels really strange to be playing World of War, especially since the last time I played the Riese was probably on Black Ops 3 with the Giant, so certainly looks very different. But of course we are back using a no-clip console command to turn off collision to fly around the map, have a little look at some cute little details, and just some things we'd never normally be able to see. So first and foremost, I will start off by saying that I apologise in advance if I make any kind of like cute little squeaking noises, if my voice sounds really shitty or anything like that. At the moment I'm feeling pretty dead. I've got some fat cold, and I feel like, you know, even though I don't feel like 100%, I still kind of have to make videos, considering I haven't actually had any kind of planned, which is definitely my fault. So I apologise if I have any little baby voice cracks or anything, because I think I'm starting to lose my voice. So all it means to me is that I'm going to have to do a lot of editing of audio, cutting out coughs and fucking splutters and stuff like that. But hey ho, nevertheless, here we are on the Riese. So in our typical fashion with this kind of series, we're going to first of all have a look at what's inside the map, and then we'll go on to outside of the map. Now by inside, I technically mean stuff like behind the barriers, any kind of like windows and stuff that is classed as in the map, and of course outside is beyond the map essentially. So first and foremost, let's have a look at these barriers down here. So we have a nice little bit of blood right there. Okay, you can actually see that. That's really weird because there's blood coming down from the ceiling, but there's literally nothing there, which is strange. But this is a zombie spawn, as you can see here, and this is kind of like an interlinking spawn, I guess. Actually, no, is it? Well, the thing is, the Riese, I think, was probably one of the first maps that started to introduce these, where zombies spawn down here and zombies spawn down here. But if the player was here, they'd obviously go to this one, and if the player was over here, they'd go to that one. They kind of have a choice. Don't know what this geezer's doing. He needs to calm himself down. But this is kind of the first map that saw that, and of course later on, especially in like Kino de Toten and Black Ops maps, Treyarch really went for it. Oh my god, what the hell happened there? I just completely strafed. That was weird. So behind this corner here, we have a floating teddy bear. This is technically kind of inside the map, I guess, because it's behind a barrier, but whatever, we'll go with it. The reason for that is there is a shadow of a teddy bear here, and that is coming from a floating teddy bear, which I think is really cool. Now what confuses me about this is how the fact that surely they could have just implemented like a shadow decal, and they didn't actually have to use an item for the engine to render a shadow. It seems really strange, especially when there's actually no light behind it, but there's light here. So that's quite interesting. I always thought this was actually a cross, like a Christian cross, but I'm still trying to work out what that's reflecting. It's like this, but where's the bit in the middle? Unless it means this bit, but I don't think it does. But yeah, so that's that bit. Of course, once you have a look from this spawn out here, you're looking forward, you're like, oh, there's a little shadow there, must be pretty cool. It's a bear. If you follow this around, this just takes you behind the map, which we'll have a look at in a sec, and down here takes you up behind here. So that's kind of that bit done. If you're thinking about what's in Pack-a-Punch before it's opened, before the power is enabled, it doesn't look any different. It's just this door doesn't exist, basically, which is really quite interesting. So we've had a look down there. Through this barrier here, this just leads literally around the back, just to this massive open space. And these are all the items which you have to do for the... what do you actually do these items for again? I don't even remember. There is a reason for doing them. I don't even... Is it an Easter egg? Is there even an Easter egg for the Riese? I'm not even sure. There must be. But yeah, so these are the items up close. We've got a jug bottle there. We've got the monkey bomb. We've got the fat ass knife. Is it the Bowie knife? Is that what it's called? I don't remember. 2 teddy bears. I don't even remember what you shoot in the end. But here is if I can get close enough. Here's the pack-a-punched M1911, which looks pretty swanky up close. Look at that, very nice. And over here we have this little bit. But it's such a strange structure because it looks like nothing. Like it's literally just a weird kind of I don't even know. How would you even describe it? It just looks ugly. And what still blows my mind to this day is just how empty Riese is as a map. I mean, all of the World at War maps really are proper empty, but I suppose that is because the game's old. And of course, Zombies was only just starting out, so they didn't really have a need to, fill these fat Easter eggs and shit in. But when you compare it to Black Ops 3, and you have like in the Giant, where you have the Origins robot behind here, and you have like the crane, you have all of this crazy stuff happening behind the map. Like, it makes you realize just how bare it is, really, especially when you consider that all these buildings are just 2D as well. It's pretty nutty. Actually kind of depressing in a way. What the fuck is that? Is that like the top of a chimney? Huh. We'll have a look at that in a sec. So this door here goes through to one of these teleporters. I'm just trying to think if there's a barrier here. We've got the paw prints, classic paw prints, but once again, nothing unbelievably crazy over there. We'll have a look at this in a sec. I will get to that. Which is quite interesting. And what annoys me though when you Noclip is how when you're outside of the map or under the map, you see these little things that are underneath the map. So like from here, I'll look at like these and I'll be like, oh, the fuck is that? And when I go over, then the map will pop in and it's actually just the floor, which is really quite annoying because it gets me gassed up for a second. But anyway, over here we have yet another spawn, which doesn't really do that much. For some reason my keyboard stops working ever so often, but there you can see the teleporter decal, which we will get to, as I said, in a second. I'm just trying to think if, I suppose up here, I remember back in the day when like this was current, when Riese came out. I actually remember I got Riese for Christmas one time, it probably was about 2010, I reckon I probably got it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, when did World at War even come out? Was World at War... Oh, it must have been earlier. It must have been like 2008, I think World at War came out. Fucking hell. But, yeah, or maybe it's even 2009. I don't remember. But I remember I got Riese for Christmas. And I remember playing it, talking to this kid at school. And it was a nice time for Christmas. And I remember at the time, everyone was getting super beefy about this spot. People were looking up because you could see there was blood. You could see it as a platform. People were like, gassing it up, like there must be an Easter egg up there, there's light in that room, there's gotta be something. And then you go in there and it's like, oh, okay, that's actually quite depressing. It's literally just a zombie spawn, unfortunately. The reason why the door is glowing, I honestly don't have a clue. But what I find really interesting is how this door actually interlinks. Like, it still, gets me how sometimes doors are actually how they're supposed to be and rooms are how they're supposed to be. Because I'm so used to things where like you'll see something, you'll be like, oh, that looks cool, and then you'll go up to it and then it'll just be its own entity. It won't actually, because it's not technically part of the map, it doesn't have to kind of follow the laws of the map. So it's really nice to see occasionally when something is like that. I've in the past when I've recorded this, I have tried to climb these ladders and you can't climb them, just so you know. But behind here, I mean, look how bare this room is. You just got the pause as per usual. And these container things don't have anything in them. I think, oh yeah, here you go. I thought that was only in Black Ops 3, but no. Here are the legs of a guy that fell in or something by the looks of it. I still don't even know why it's there, to be honest with you. I still think it's pretty cool. I mean, even look at his uniform. You can't really tell. If I had to say anything, I'd have to say he was a Nazi, because to be honest with you, it's in Germany, isn't it, Riese? So that would be the most logical assumption. But I guess some sweaty geezer out there probably knows about that stuff. So you do have that. As for all these buildings with the fire, these are literally just like empty rooms. There's really nothing overly exciting happening with them. The only slightly notable thing is how there is kind of like a room like there. But that's only because when you look up, there's a room. That's the only reason why. They're not doing it because they feel like being nice. It's not like that, unfortunately. We have the good old Field Operations Manual, I think that says. These doors, which, look, again, an actual door that makes sense. It's crazy. Blows my mind. Behind the barriers, we just have a load of burning barrels. This map has some like mad fire fetish for some reason. It's quite strange. And I'm trying to work out if that's the... Oh, okay. So I was wondering why there's barriers and stuff. I can't speak. Barrels and stuff in there. Then I realised it's because it was over here. So once again, we're back here. I'm just trying to think if there's anything like ridiculously crazy. The only thing I can think of at the moment is the teleporters, which are over there, and also this bit where the dogs are supposed to be, like the testing bit. But we'll have a look over here for now. We've got the little classic Teddy as a liar thing on the go, which I think is really quite interesting. We have whatever that means. Once again, we have the field manual. We'll have a look at that in a second. But if you go on the underside of it, if I can try and find where the book's gone, because it clips. So there you can actually see it open, which is really quite cool. Has anyone even ever picked up on that? I mean, that's pretty readable, to be fair, which is quite interesting. But is there even a time where it is open? I mean, I only ever see them closed, but I assume not, because that'd be a bit ridiculous otherwise if you have to cheat to get them. Here we have the Hanging Man, which is, by the looks of it, the same body as the guy over here. It looks like pretty much the same, so I can imagine they just copy and paste it over again. But I like it because when you look over here and you can see him, you can only see the legs, so you assume, oh yeah, there must be a body, but no, there's actually not. There is still a bit of rope though, which is interesting, but no, there's no actual like body, just the legs. And of course that doesn't lead anywhere either, as you can see there. Is that a floating book? What was that? Oh, okay, it's just these two. Okay, yeah, so it is open there, as you can see. But again, how would you get to that? You can't get to this otherwise. Very strange. These buildings are literally just 2D. Basically just backdrop, to be honest with you. And I still like the whole kind of greenhouse look of this this teleporter, this little room. It's pretty cool, actually. We've got that little catwalk thing up here. Haven't got anything behind here. We've got a massive black square, which is really interesting. And we do have whatever this is. What actually is that? It's just like a flat decal kind of looking thing. Strange, very strange. Right, so I think that's probably all of what's inside of the map, at least from what I can think of. Got like the guard tower and stuff, and it does spell out help, and what's the SOS? SOS. Always quite cool. Got these fat holes in the ceiling as well. I would check to see if stuff has collision, but it's just really long putting it back on again, and I don't want to fall under the map and not be able to get up, because that happens all too much. It's quite depressing. So let's have a look. First of all, we're going to have a look at the moon really quickly. So what's really weird about the moon is that instead of it being a part of the skybox, as in it's something like a texture, you can never reach it. It's actually its own entity. It's like a actual model, so you can actually get to it. I think, were people saying that this is the moon base, I believe, on it, as you can see there. That's what people assumed. Whether that's true or not, I don't know, because I never actually played Moon, which is quite embarrassing, to be fair. But yeah, and I mean, once you're up here, it's obviously just a 2D image. There's nothing really like ultra crazy happening with it, but you just really get to appreciate the sky. You look at the skybox, so beautiful. I mean, God knows why it's so beautiful. There's probably some lore video about it, but I mean, look at it. You got all of these really, really nice colours. It looks like a Mac wallpaper, basically. It's very nice. So, I remember, like, back in the day as well, people saying, like, oh, there's a teddy on the moon and stuff like that. No, there's nothing there, mate. It's literally just a 2D texture. Nothing crazy. But, I mean, once you're up here, you get an idea of just how strange the map is. It's literally floating in an abyss of just nothing. It's very, very crazy to think about. Especially considering it's not even a case where it has like empty land that just extends outwards. It's literally just floating above nothing, and these buildings just make it look like it's bigger than it is. It's really, really good trickery. Really good trickery on Treyarch's behalf. I think it's really, really clever. Okay, so over here we have the Bowie Knife, as you can see here. Once again, we have another barricade, which leads off around the corner with blood. Gets all the corner fetish people going with Treyarch games. We've got the teleporter as well. I find this really awkward because I don't remember... that's the one. That's the one I wanted. You can see there. Always looks pretty cool when that comes down. So now the teleporters work. You've got the nice swastika that's glowing. Oh, lovely, absolutely lovely. STG, what a gun. I'm just trying to think. So down here we have the little Maxis, like paperweight looking thing. I don't remember what it's called, but there's nothing down this little pit here in case you were wondering. Once again, nothing too crazy around here, so I suppose it's time that we look at this, and then we'll end with looking at the box. So once again, I remember back in the day, in the heat of speculation of this map, people were banging on about this area. I just remember people going like, this is where the dogs are tested, this is where the whole like story begins, because you got the paw prints, you got the doors. If I remember correctly, there's actually something slightly interesting behind these doors, but I'll get to that in a sec. But we have nothing down here. We just have empty landmass, which is presumably just there to house kind of these buildings, which I think is quite neat. We don't have anything like in the crates, if you were wondering. There's nothing in them. And of course, these windows are boarded up, and we've got this over here, which links to this spawn. So through these doors, we have a pretty interesting bit of room. Now this does kind of confuse me. I say kind of, it confuses me quite a bit. Why this building in particular is more fleshed out than others. This is what I find very strange. At certain parts as well, you have like doors, just these doors, and you have a bit of a room which is red. You have I'm trying to find where it is. Where am I? We have this bit of the wall, which is from Nagged, by the look of it, the spawn where the zombies tear the wall off. You have a blood decal that extends outwards. You have this big ass line. It's very strange. It's a very strange room. I think it's definitely interesting, and honestly, I can't think of a reason why it's like that. And the only reason, the only far-fetched reason I could think of was perhaps this part was supposed to be a bit of the map, as in this gate would open up, you could go in there, be a pretty sick training spot. Go through here and you'd have somewhat of a spawn maybe, or maybe these doors are even open. I don't know, it's literally just speculation, but that's about the only decent reason I can think of why that's so fleshed out, unless it's literally just a part of another room which I'm somehow missing. But I like to believe that it's a bit of cut content, because I love a bit of cut content in my life. So now we're going to finish with having a look at the boxes down here. So we have this massive shiny black box. Now what is inside of it? Well, inside we have the transition of teleporting, as you can see here. Now, what people think about teleporting is that you're literally like, you know, taken off into the sky or something when you're teleporting, or you're staying in the same place, something like that. You're not. When you go into the teleporter, it transforms you out of the map into this little box here. And all it does, it simply places you in front of this decal, like so forth, and this will just spin and spin and spin until eventually it pops you out and you're elsewhere. And what is interesting is that you have separate teleporters, so it's 4 teleporter decals for 4 players. You're not in the same one. You don't share a pod, although you can't actually see the separate rooms. You kind of can here, but it's not like one communal decal, which I think is really interesting. And also the actual reflection of the boxes, I'm still trying to work out what it is. I know it's a zombies map and I can't work out what one it is. Something's telling me it's either something like Varrocked, or it might even be the Riese. I'm not quite sure. But yeah, that's that. If you were ever wondering about how the teleporters work, that's that. Very, very interesting stuff, I think. Very interesting stuff. But I think that's a wrap, to be honest with you. I think we have covered most of what is in this map. I'm just going to give it a quick once over just to see if we're kind of missing anything out here, maybe. With these, like, what even are these? These, like, iron ingots or something? What? I don't know what that is. We have, like, you know, spawners, all the stuff you would expect, essentially. We got down here another spawn, which has a cute little rock in it, which just doesn't go anywhere. And you also have more stones, which reminds me of Nact in a lot of way. So yeah, I think that is about it. Oh god, that's interesting. Let's get an Insta. There you go. So I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that's kind of major. I guess there isn't. So that is the end of the video, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy the video, please let me know for a start, by dropping it a like, dropping a comment, whatever you want to do. Just let me know, you know, a bit of the old love now and then, because a lot of these don't take that much effort to record. They are still quite lengthy in the process, and especially poor babby me, nice and ill. I'm not trying to bribe you or anything, but I'm just interested to know if this kind of thing is up your street. Also, I do have Shino Numa to do as well, which I'll eventually get round to. Plus, I'll try and continue the multiplayer map, Noclip Explorations as well, which I haven't done in ages. So, yeah, stay tuned for more. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys on my next video. This is SkintBoot, signing out.